Oh my God.
Oh,
Hi,
hey.
everyone. Hey, how's it going? It's fancy meeting you here. What the
Yeah,
hell?
it's been a while. We did go through life and death and booze together, so I suppose there is something to be said for yeah, out the other side. How you feeling, Stuart?
Good. Very good. How about you?
I say that, and then I was bullied and you weren't. So
I
how
was
many
having real
times?
shots when you weren't.
Yes, but those drinks got real strong.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was given a couple. So you're welcome. You are welcome. Hope you
Welcome back,
enjoyed that.
guys. Hopefully you guys were there on Saturday. If not, go
Hmm.
back and watch our drunk cards if you want to have some fun. Join us for the next one, which will be, I don't know, soonish.
Yeah, in the next month, which will be
Yes,
doubly
yes.
exciting. But I'm sure I'll have that scheduled a bit early, so you guys can see when things
Yeah.
are what and not. But Stuart and guys, vote in the poll because I tried to put it on an hour ago, where I was told don't necessarily come early to, which is fine. Like so, put a stop, put your thoughts in, vote now, have your
Yes.
voice heard, etc., etc. And
Do the things.
I'll go straight sharing.
All right. Well, hit that like button, guys. For us. If you don't like the Starfleet Academy show, if you like us talking about it, hit that like button. We'd appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the you know, the notification bell so you get notified when we do lives like this or edited content. We love doing all that stuff, hanging out with you guys and just chatting about Star Trek with you guys. So yeah, do the things you need to do. We appreciate that. You can also join the channel. There's a join option down there on YouTube, or you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards to join us there on a monthly basis. It all adds up and helps us out immensely, and we appreciate it. So we also want to hear from you guys. So if you can super chat in or PayPal during the live, we do read all those on the air. So it is a good way to get your voice heard and your opinion out there because we do read them all, as I said. So if there's something you really need to say and you want the world to know, and you can go back and say, look, this is what I said. Here it is on this live, then you can do that. And we appreciate that. So yeah, PayPal is trekyards@hotmail.com if you want to do that, or a super chat. Or just have a conversation with others in the regular chat. All we want to say for sure is be nice, be respectful. You can disagree with people, and that's fine. Just be respectful about it, and yeah, everything should go smoothly. So, and it's fine to have discourse. It's fine to have differing opinions and to present your case, politely and civilly, and there's good conversations to be had as a result of that. So let's bear that in mind as we go into this discussion. Not everybody's going to agree, and that's fine, but it is worth talking about, I think. So we will do that, and yeah. All right. And also about, yeah, I forgot to mention, there are links down below in the description of every video to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Get yourself some cool Trekyards merch and other stuff down there as well. In every video, links in the description. Holy shit, it's Sam's back, man.
So, yeah. So what's the
Um,
poll result? What's the poll, Stuart? And then what's the poll result? The initial burst of people saying things is. What do you guys
a
say?
pole is a cylindrical object, usually in
Okay.
the ground.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
And the poll
Um,
says I'm steady. I'm certain.
yes.
I'm. You know.
As long as it's planted in the ground far enough,
But are you
yes.
a big fan of thinner polls or fatter polls? If you had to vote for one.
Anyone that can just hold the weight of a stripper, I'm happy with. So
Okay. So at least sort of 7, 8 foot.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and like a pretty good diameter so that they don't
But you
like
wouldn't want too girthy
break.
because you couldn't. You need to have you hold your arms around
Well,
it. You
it's not
know.
it's not my problem, that's her problem. So yeah, she's,
We've got to think of the little people. You know. On that note, what do people
Anyway,
say?
the poll with 59 votes says, does Starfleet Academy deserve all the hate? Yes or no? And yes is winning with 67% and 60 votes. So
Oh,
bam. Yeah. And as I said when you were like
yes.
sharing, I said we can have discourse, we can have disagreements as long as we do it politely and civilly. It's a good conversation to be had. Just let's not be rude. Let's not
Mm-hmm.
be arrogant or ignorant.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We were going to do this
no,
last week, which would have been, as I said to you earlier today, interesting perspective that in the last week we had a very strong episode. So, yay. And
mhm.
then we've had the reverse. We've been had a much weaker episode. So it's interesting how the discourse may have changed. It's definitely a changing per week kind of situation. But do we have super chats or PayPal? I think with some PayPals as to what people think, because
We got some PayPals.
you
Yeah.
guys have your thoughts. I want to get, you are part of the conversation and discussion. What do people think?
So the first PayPal is from Ray Ricks, who throws in £5,
Thank you so much.
and it's one of two. So there's going to
Mm,
be another one.
better than
He
7 of
says,
9.
I think there's some context for this. Disco, early season, soured Kurtzman era Trek, and Section 31 compounded that view. I think Picard season 3 was one of the worst things that could have happened for Kurtzman because now the narrative is we are getting that or this instead of legacy. Um, he goes on to put another £5, so thank you, and says, on its own merits, Academy has been fine. First couple episodes were decent, as was the recent Giamatti episode, but the rest has been fairly mid, but with likable actors. I think that Academy also leans into uh, the tropes people dislike about Kurtzman's Trek. Yeah, that's a very good way of saying it, actually, Ray. You're right. Discovery, Picard seasons 1 and 2, Section 31 are kind of the epitome of, well, in a lot of people's minds, Kurtzman era Trek. They're the ones he had a lot of influence in. And that being said, Prodigy and Lower Decks are still Kurtzman era Trek. He was a little more hands off with those, though. And I think they had showrunners that really, you know, and yeah, Terry Matalas, Picard season 3 definitely came in and just kind of showed people how it was done and how the fans would respond to it. And yeah, I think it left a bad taste in Kurtzman's mouth anyway. But
Well, for a simple expression, Picard season 3, Lodex and Prodigy did not reflect Kurtzman's ideals.
yeah,
They had
yeah,
creative visions.
yeah,
Like with the Marvel films, you can kind of sense the ones that are more mandated tones versus creatives that came in and did their own thing. Those that feel
yeah.
more part of the next, and then ones that are like, well, that was a bold choice. You might not like the bold choices, but bold choices, etc. And Ray's quite a eloquent chap, so I think or do you read part 2 as part of that?
Yes, I did.
Ah, okay. Put you guys' thoughts in. It'll interrupt us, and we can read what people think. Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting if not if because season 3 hadn't happened, but his Kurtzman's contracts and such. I wonder how they would reflect if there wasn't this giant moneymaker of one show, or if Strange Worlds wasn't so successful.
Mm.
How the tenure might have stopped abruptly if there weren't a few successes. It's like if there wasn't Rogue One or Mandalorian, would Star Wars just have clapped down upon itself with the lack of really good material? But you have a couple of bright stars, is what I mean. Or do you know what I mean?
Clarify for me, because I think I know what you mean, but
Well, because there are some really good things you can call upon,
yes.
people argue though, oh, it's not all bad because. But if there's a majority of less good stuff, then the fact there's some good stuff is sort of a shield to critique. So the fact there is Mandalorian, but if every other TV show around it was not as good, without Mandalorian, you'd be like, oh, Star Wars TV is pretty bad. But because one is really good,
Yeah.
it kind of, elevates the whole batch kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that does help for sure, but I think it's still the bad things stand out. Like you don't hear people talking about a lot of the good things in Star Wars or Star Trek. They tend to focus on the things they don't like, the negative
It's
things, right?
interesting.
Because Prodigy was phenomenal. Nobody talks about it because not everybody saw it because
Most people didn't.
yeah, which is a shame. So,
Big shame.
um, and of course, even the Mandalorian, something that's as loved as the Mandalorian was, people over time just get either it becomes too cliche or they just don't feel like they want to hate something. So when season 3 came around, which wasn't as good, I feel like it was just blanketed. Season 3 is just bad. There's a lot of good stuff in season 3, right? Like So yes, it props it up somewhat, but at the same time, as we've always talked about, and we always point out, there's good and bad in everything. Even Discovery had some good moments, or some good scenes, or some good dialogue, or some good, whatever, right?
It's so funny what
So
you just said there. People want something to hate. Do people want something to hate? As in
yeah.
most people, because I'd never look at media. I would be very happy to have 23 episodes of good. We look for issues in canon because unlike most things in media, there's a right and wrong answer when it comes to can the Intrepid go to warp 9.994? No. Okay.
Mm.
Right is there's an easy answer there. That's why we're tech based. But I wouldn't want to hate anything. I'd rather be great Trek. And I don't know if you remember, but when the Obi-Wan show came out, the first two episodes which I watched back to back, I was so inspired by how good I felt they were. I literally emailed people that night. I got a bit ahead of myself trying to source some Jedi clothing, and within 24 hours, I had paid an exorbitant amount of money to people I had just met to make some very nice stuff, which now is over there. Because I was like, this is a great show. It did this very quickly, but I was so enthused by it. So I didn't want to hate it. Of course, I was very enthused. You know?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
don't
the
know.
thing
Why
is,
do you think people want to hate it? Why is that a thing? 'Cause it just seems
well,
so
I don't know if
antithetical.
that's necessarily the case. I just think that the haters are louder, and they tend to be amplified and passed along, as opposed to the people that love something usually don't speak up. I don't know. I just think that the haters tend to be louder and more obnoxious, and as a result, get more attention. So there might not be people that are dedicated to hate, but you can tell. I can tell you before any series comes on the air who's going to hate it. There's at least 4 or 5 channels that are going to just pick it apart, no matter how good it is, or no matter how much like prior Trek it might be, because that's what sells their views. That's what sells their channel. That's what sells them as a personality. They're not going to change that because the negativity sells. So even something is actually, there's a funny video Steve Shives just did of if TNG was a show in 2026. He's going through all the things that people would complain about. And yeah, it's hilarious. And that actually did happen at the time. Every new show is kind of greeted with that wall of this isn't my Trek. This is too different. I don't like it. And then look back on fondly later. So
Although we're 9 years in, Discovery is not
no, all right.
season one, and I don't
Yeah.
think '09 has improved in anyone's repertoire. I think those are both maintaining
Yeah.
their.
Yeah. And that's just the thing. It's just meh. There's
Mm.
no real hate leveled upon it necessarily, but there's no praise either. Like there's used to be good things said about those. That's just kind of gone away. It's just kind of like, it exists. We'll talk about it if we have to.
And it's and I want to bring up the Steve Shive things because I saw Josh Owen post about that, and I commented back saying, I'm probably not going to watch that because he doesn't believe in canon. So it's like the sour milk of any hot take he has is sort of a moot point if he doesn't believe in canon. Why should I listen to his points? And as funny as it might be, he's come out from a perspective I can't even remotely sympathize with. So he's probably doing it. I haven't seen it, of course, but that sort of video would probably only be poking fun at people, not with them. Because if he doesn't believe in canon, there's no rules. So I'm not even going to watch that because it's just going to be insulting to people in a way that we wouldn't do it. I don't know. That's how I.
No, it was good. It was good. It was good. I was surprised. I didn't expect to
Okay.
like it. I wasn't going to watch it,
Okay.
but to be fair, I only watched half of it because it got a little boring.
Yeah.
But he makes some interesting points that if it was
Okay.
released today, of what people would say. So yeah.
Was he with the contrast of to TOS or more? Because everything's of its time, specifically the comments. Or
Yeah,
was
it
or was it
always
was
seemed.
it today's lens only, not today's lens, but actually the '80s lens? Like, was it? Because if it's
No,
today,
today's lens.
well, that's stupid then, because we didn't have today's lens. I mean, I know it's
What's
a
the
joke,
point
but
though?
yeah, fair enough. Just I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't. Yeah, silly, odd man, odd man.
Yeah.
What are people saying
Uh,
though?
S- Spock's Glock, who is David Bessig, is here with $10.
Oh,
And so years ago, I would never describe myself as an anti-woke guy. I'm a white dude married to a liberal black woman. We both love Trek. She has 0% interest in this. None. It's all just too much.
0.
Uh, yeah, now cue the chat calling me a Nazi for this take.
Well, married to a black lady, so hard to be at that
Yeah,
point.
our chat won't do that. I mean, there may be one or two
No,
that pop in that are regulars, but
we have more common sense people than that because
yeah.
that's silly. Yeah, I'm surprised 0%. Uh, you know, I mean, we have things we have more than 0% interest. You know,
Yeah.
and we're non-political people
See,
anyway, so it's all that you know what I mean. Like 0%, like we'd both still watch it even if we weren't.
I was just gonna
Whoa,
say, even if Trekyards didn't exist and we didn't, sort of have to review it, I'd still watch it all. I might not have the same views per se, because I might not be analyzing it as deeply, but I think it's enjoyable pieces of content. Like it's funny to listen to my friends like kind of watch the show through their lens when they talk to me about it. Like my buddy Dave, Blappy, he's like, this week's episode was awesome. I really like this new character. And it's like, yeah, that's your surface level kind of take on the episode. You enjoyed it
yeah,
because it entertained you for an hour. And that's great. And then you mentioned like to try to go a little bit deeper in the conversation. And sometimes, the conversation goes fine. Other times it's like I didn't really think about that, and I don't really care. It's entertainment. It was good. It entertained me, and I wasn't upset at the end of it. It's like, yeah, okay,
but it's probably
fair.
if you ask the same friend about Picard season 3 with all of his emotional investment, the reviews would probably be deeper out the gate
Hmm.
because he would have investment, but he's probably going into Academy not caring as much, so therefore the
Mm.
review level won't be as much. I mean, how many films do we see that's like, oh, it's good, and we never talk about it again? We don't care. Oh gosh, there was a
Mm.
film. Oh, it's something my dad watched that he hadn't. Oh, what was it? Oh, it's a great comparison. Okay, let's go to the next thing because it's a really great example.
Go to the next thing.
Yeah, because I want to remember his comment.
Let's see. Is there another PayPal?
Oh, I don't. I'm just.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there you go.
Ray Ricks throws in another £5, so thank you.
Thanks so much.
Says also, I think you guys more than I do. I think you guys more than I do about the YouTube space, but I do feel some channels have brands around negative discourse and drive some of this.
Some.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we try and be more fair. It might have been Star Wars. Ah, maybe. Maybe it was either Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker or Mandalorian. One of those more recent things where he was seeing. I don't remember exactly, but he was seeing something, and I knew the canon of like the cartoons, etc., and I was annoyed by it because it didn't make sense. But he didn't know that, so he enjoyed it for what it was. Or they changed
Mm-hmm.
something and he didn't know. But then I said to him, well, yeah, but if this was a Trek thing and you would know, now you're feeling the other side of the coin because you don't know or care. So the fact they've changed it for Star Wars fans, or I can't remember what franchise it was, doesn't matter. So a less Star Trek fan who doesn't mind
Yeah.
won't mind as much. But obviously we're looking at it from a certain lens, hopefully a balanced lens, but a more whatever lens. I don't know. It's
No, the
that's
interesting thing is I understand the hate for it. Like I really do. I think if I hadn't have started Trek Yards 10 years ago or 11 years ago, whatever it was, and didn't have to look at things a certain way, I used to have a very kind of
purist.
set opinion.
Mm,
And I don't know if purist is the word. Because when Enterprise came on, I remember being quite upset with Enterprise because to me, it broke a lot of the established headcanon that came from Beta canon, right? And that kind of annoyed me a little bit, um,
a lot of it.
a lot of it. And now I have a different lens on it. Like we want to look for the good and the bad in it, right? And Enterprise, I just kind of hand waved a lot of it back in the day, especially season 3. I was just like, whatever. When season 4 came on, it got a little bit better. I started watching again, but and it wasn't for. I just didn't make a point. It wasn't appointment viewing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it was Star Trek, and if it's on and I had nothing to do, I'd watch it, like a new episode of season 3 of Enterprise. But I wouldn't go out and seek it because, to me, they had kind of broken some cardinal rules
Well,
canon wise,
well, in
right?
your head, it was the worst of the Treks that come out,
Yeah.
and then suddenly at the time there was Stargate, there was Battlestar Galactica. There were
Hmm.
much better shows than Enterprise. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a. I mean, I remember I told May a time. There was literally 2 nights. Star SG-1, Atlantis, BSG, and Enterprise. Enterprise was by far every week the worst of those 4 shows.
Yeah.
Normally every time, and so you watch out of obligation in a nice way. But Battlestar's the one that was like, this is much better. It's like twice as good normally. There was no
Mhm.
comparison, and I remember thinking, how is Enterprise getting made with all their experience, but these other shows are just fundamentally just better shows for me, and obviously the ratings. I mean, BSG's hailed, and certainly Atlantis is, in my opinion, very good, etc. But also, I don't just hating a show. I don't know if I hate any media. Any media, because that's such a big opinion, right? I can be annoyed by something, but hating just seems so odd because it's all fiction. Maybe a documentary if it's lying about, like if you were a documentary was made about you and lied about you, made you seem really nasty, they could hate that, you know. But just that of
Yeah.
hating something seems odd to me. Now, fine, if you knew Gene Roddenberry, and this is an example, if you knew Gene Roddenberry and you talked to him and you knew his exact principles, and then you knew Michael Piller and you were on the sets, and then that Academy is everything that Gene would have hated, then I could get why you would, because for a fact, like Andrew Probert, right? If Andrew Probert knows what Gene would have wanted, and he's saying
Problem
against it,
is,
then then that's a much better example
problem
saying, well,
is
actually, yeah,
that was Gene of that time. People
sure,
evolve, people change, their opinions change.
sure.
You cannot, even if you knew Gene personally, you cannot say he would have been opposed to this, and this. Because who knows what might have happened when he got older, and views change, opinions change, people evolve. So again, I think that's very kind of draconian to say, I know for a fact that this person wouldn't have liked this. They're not here to corroborate it. They haven't been around for decades, but God damn it, I know it. Yeah, you
I,
knew it from 1990s Gene, right? But people do change, so I don't know.
no, that is fair, but that by that very logical argument, you cannot quote anybody. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? In any, which is fair, but that people do quote people as important things, especially if you knew them, etc. But that's very fair. He's not around.
yeah. But Spock's Glock throws in another
Oh.
$10. Says, anyways, sorry to rock the boat. I'm just very upset with the direction Trek has gone. I'm tired. I feel like huge numbers of us are hated by the creators and Trek's being disrespected on many levels. And at this point, it has nothing to do with canon.
Well, no, the Academy's certainly moved past canon, so those
Yeah,
problems are not canon based, which is
I
nice
think
for a
they're
change.
yeah, I think they're trying to access different markets and stuff, which you know works sometimes, doesn't work in others. Like unfortunately, Prodigy, the best of the new Trek, many people haven't even seen yet. Lower Decks, the second best of the new Trek, a lot of people haven't seen yet because they think it's all parody and silly and too Family Guy humor to watch. When those two, the animated ones, are the most canon, respectful of all.
Their creators really cared,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
really cared. But I mean, I can imagine if I was somebody who's not doing this as well, I would definitely, because we look at all the tech stuff, we like the ship, so that's always a fun thing and all the stuff.
yeah,
But certainly, unlike Star Wars, where they always respect the visual continuity, or if George changes it, but that's long since passed. So that's what's always going to make sense. But I don't know if, I mean, some people just stop watching Discovery at the end. Point of
yeah,
viewing, like you said, is it good enough to watch? Like, I think part of the problem as well is that Academy, while it's fine, there are better things on TV right now. Is that that's part of why Section 31 was such a problem?
Mhm.
It wasn't even a good movie, irrelevant to Star Wars, and people are
yeah,
making great movies across the board. So why is it a bad movie as well as? So if Academy does not good, not like if it was the best teen drama ever made, awesome, right? But it's not even that. So would it even be enough to watch as a pure enjoyment thing? I mean, certainly last week, yeah, wouldn't have been a fun one to watch, but then I just wouldn't ever
yeah,
watch it again, right? I wouldn't even think about it. I would watch it, say okay, and I would go on. If it wasn't you and me, if I watch it for dinner, say, that wasn't very good, was it? No,
yeah, yeah.
I just wouldn't ever watch it again. Wouldn't buy the Blu-rays necessarily. Wouldn't buy an uniform. That's why. That's why buying things. That's why I'd love to see. I'd love to see algorithms and algorithm like Netflix, which shows and which episodes are most watched. Because you cannot get more real than the data. If TOS is one of the
Yeah.
most watched shows, if Voyager is one of the most shows, if certain episodes like that is what people want to watch, I'm sorry, jump in one more time, but I just had this conversation with a friend the other day about Stargates, the Stargate shows, and Stargate Universe is a fantastic TV show. It was while BSG was of course a thing, the SG felt ahead of its time. If it was released now, it'd be winning awards across the board. It'd be one of the best shows on TV for its acting, its writing, its sets. All that stuff is excellent. It's just at the time it was not what people wanted, and a lot of people felt they gave up Atlantis for Universe because they were given a choice. Do you either do one or the other? You have one set of budget. Oh, we'll do Atlantis movies. Okay, fine. They got cancelled, so they did choose, but whatever. And when Universe came out, Atlantis was getting a normal about 3.4 million an episode views, which now would be, whoa, right? Amazing. 3.4-ish for Universe Season 1. The average, I believe, for the whole Season 1 was 0.8 million views. That show, for the most part, a sub million views a week. Which speaks to it lost 3/4 of the Stargate audience. And of course, those numbers came out because it was on television, right? So I would imagine that if the same thing happened today for Academy, you might be seeing it like 700,000 views. It might be some sub 600, right? People voted with their numbers in it, and the thing got super cancelled because you lost 3/4 of your audience. You know, it'd be great to know those numbers.
Also, I'd like to know the numbers of people that watch it, just hate watch it, so that they can make YouTube videos saying this was stupid and this was stupid. Because there's a lot of that going on.
But that's got to be in the dozens.
I'd still like to know the numbers, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
George Mangro, member for 59 months at the rank of lieutenant. So thank you so much, George.
Appreciate you so much.
Said Star Trek has always been woke since 1966. People have been complaining the whole time. Only now there is social media for some to loudly complain. That's true. Things are amplified by the social media presence. Because like I said, same thing happened when TNG was announced. People complained, but it was in Starlog magazine. Letters to the editor at the back. Sure, if you read those, he got the discourse. I didn't really realize there was as much discourse at the time when that came out. I was like 13, 14. Like I knew that people, because I myself was like, if it's so far in the future, why don't they just beam from planet to planet? I didn't know that would become a thing in JJ Trek, but whatever. And a French captain. Will he have a French accent? I remember making stupid little jokes like that, but again, yeah, no internet to amplify it, no YouTube channels to like get hundreds of thousands of views. So yeah.
But of course, words evolve, and concepts evolve as words. So what might have been one brand of whatever, there's that famous graph of the political spectrum, which is if you're a centrist, both sides have kind of moved. You might have stayed the same. So where one position is one way, as time evolves, it shifts. So even if Trek might have been there, if the needles have moved around it, then
it's the pendulum shift. Because the pendulum always goes like right to left, and then there's a point in time where it's in the middle, where it's kind of
But you look at
pendulum shift.
But you look at Enterprise, and it was quite balanced.
Yeah,
no one would call Enterprise political or doing many things. In fact, you could argue it's terrible because there's gel scenes where they're whatevering each other, but obviously everyone's sort of equally nude in those scenes, as much. I don't know. I like balanced, fair, and good to all people.
Yeah. Well, Graham McGregor throws in $5. Hi, haven't been around. Looking at clips, I can't watch it, and the idea of people are tired of old Star Trek. They're tired of Bad Robot Studios. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Everybody's excited that Kurtzman's might be his contract's up this year, whatever, he's going to be out. The problem is Kurtzman is the devil we know. Where there's some allowance for lower decks and Prodigy and things that really appeal to people like us, and then there's the opposite end of the spectrum, Section 31 and whatnot. So the problem is, if we know we can get some good Star Trek out of Kurtzman Trek, and Strange New Worlds, it's kind of on the fence for some people, but more or less people like it. Whereas if we get somebody new, we're not sure what they're capable of, how much they respect Star Trek, and what they would make. So it's the whole devil we know thing. we can get some good stuff.
Well, the irony, the devil we know George Lucas for Star Wars, and what do people say then that 3 Star Wars were made without him? I wish Lucas came back, because the devil we
Yeah.
didn't know made it arguably much worse.
Yep. Exactly.
But Stuart, read
Exactly.
out the poll, because I have a very controversial thing to throw in here, because, what's great is it's anonymous, so you can put your genuine thoughts in and there's no way of us tracking, because... Read it out, Stuart, read it out.
At least there's no way that they know we can track it. Anyway, do you have a problem with gay Klingon? Yep, no gay Klingon. It's wrong. Klingons aren't gay in canon. Klingons can be gay, of course. I never thought it was an issue. Yeah. Let's go vote on the poll. It's a good one. We do have a few super chats to catch up on, so let's do that. Royston Bailey, $5. I heard what Kurtzman had to say about Trek and his vision and realized his Trek isn't for me. I enjoy Lower Decks and Prodigy, but they can't substitute live action. I don't know what you mean by that specifically. I like the idea of animated because it's cheaper and easier for them. I don't know.
Well, you need both. Both is
Yeah.
good, because you can do a lot more with animation. But yeah, they'll never have the same grounding as live action, but it's far more expensive. That's why Lotus was a great companion piece to everything else. Right?
Yeah. Spock's Glock, $2. Hate aside, will forever love Trekyards. Trekyards forever. Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you.
We love you too, man.
You silly man.
Royston S. Bailey, member for 1 month of the rank of Ensign. Welcome, Ensign.
Oh.
Trek is a genre. Follow the conventions and you're fine.
Ooh, oh man, that you watch Voyager, TOS, or the different genre. I kind of disagree. That's a hard one, man. That's Voyager, Enterprise, TNG. They're all a bit different.
Well, that goes to the next super chat. Royston S. Bailey, $2. To be fair, I thought Voyager and Enterprise were mistakes.
Oh,
I didn't think Voyager was. I thought Voyager was a fantastic idea.
It's
Deep Space
TNG
Nine,
again. Yeah.
Deep Space Nine, I was unsure of at the time because the station, whatever. And yeah, I wasn't the biggest DS9 fan. I hadn't watched all of DS9 until I met Sylvia. Finally got around to watching it, really loved it. It's just one of those things you need to be up on because it's serialized at the end. And I always seemed to catch the same episodes, which weren't the best episodes. So I kind of
Tuned it out almost.
Yeah, just well, hand waved it, like I said earlier. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's fine, it's trying.
Well,
But
if you showed a Discovery fan who that's their favorite show, the worst 5 DS9 episodes, they would be justifiable and say, "Old Trek sucks."
Yep.
Or if you showed them the 5 best, they say, "Oh my god, Trek is so much better than Discovery." And they show them stuff in between, like, eh. So if you happen to see ones that either weren't good or you didn't like, that's it's fair enough.
Indeed. Oh, Misha is here. Haven't seen you in a long time, Misha. $20, so thank you.
Appreciate you.
At work, and this just popped up. Starfleet Academy, question mark. I have thoughts, but we want to hear them.
Yes. Skip work. That's what Stuart's saying. Who needs to work? Yes.
Well, you do, because you need to be able to pay for super chats.
And we need to get the super chats.
Royston S. Bailey throws in $2. Gay Klingon, do something interesting with it. I mean, they might.
See, that's such an interesting comment as well, because if he was gay in your face, people complain. If he's gay and didn't do anything, people complain. So the best thing to do is just be a character who happens to be gay.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing. That's why it's odd when you look at old Trek. Who's to say Neelix isn't bi? He never brought it up.
Yep. Yeah, that's the other thing. You don't
Didn't
need
matter.
to advertise your sexuality. It just, as part of your character, it'll come through or it won't. And that's the thing with New Trek that I think bothers a lot of people. It's like, hey, I'm gay. How you doing? It's like, wow, relax.
But he hasn't even done that, which is why
I know he hasn't, but people think he has because he's wearing a skirt.
Yeah, but that was their point. Well, it's kind of it's a little bit like, I know Sean Ferrick really dislikes the Irish character in Section 31 because the Irishness was, even though he wasn't Irish, he was an alien Irish, it felt very in the front of the scenario versus happened to be, whereas like O'Brien, he's Irish, My brain doesn't click he's Irish. Like, literally, until Trekyards with you, I never knew that Malcolm Reed was English. Because his accent isn't an English accent of the like
Yeah.
generic ones. He's just talking. I never heard it, so I didn't know he was English. Because his Englishness does not define him in any way. He doesn't talk about the Queen. Why would he? But he doesn't say things. He doesn't drink tea. He doesn't have a, there's nothing English about him specifically. He's just English.
Mhm.
So I never clocked it. Why would I? He doesn't sound. I'm sure you've clocked a few people are Canadian who, that's just, you don't think anything of it because it's just,
Possibly, yeah. Can't think of any examples, but
yeah, why not?
McKay from Stargate.
Yes.
Well, in fact, he says he's Canadian quite a bit.
And he is
And
Canadian.
he's got the Canadian flag on his arm in every scene. So
Did you know he was Canadian from it before that?
yeah.
Okay. Doesn't
But
say.
I don't agree with ZPM. It's ZPM.
So it's both.
Well, yeah.
Tomato. It is both. Annoyingly.
I'm Canadian.
I know we're the
don't
correct
agree with-
ones because we invented the word potentially, but But apart from that, that's the
How
joke.
do you say it? Z?
I say both. But also it's like data.
Depends
It's
on the context.
data
yeah.
data's both. But the first, that's why whenever I do a fan film where I invented a name of an alien, and they say to me, "How do I say it?" Like, you're the first to say it. You get the classic privilege that Trek got. Have fun with it. Normally, I say how I said it in my head, but leave it up to them, right? Because I think that's a fun thing. I always like that story that Patrick got to say it, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, that's how you say it." Oops, gotta change how I say the next 10 scenes. That's great. I think that's such a sweet story.
Well, let's jump to PayPal for a second because there's another one from Ray Ricks, and we got two more super chats which I know about. So just hold on.
And
guys.
vote in the poll because I want thoughts. It's anonymous, so you can vote honestly.
So Ray Ricks throws in £5 and says, "Also happy Colomini announced for Vegas this year, and reviewing guests only Bella Shepherd announced from Academy. If this reflects is this reflective of the interest in the show, or do you think more will be announced? We have gotten good Trek under Kurtzman when he steps back. Yeah, when he's not in the forefront controlling things. I think you'll be getting more Academy announcements closer to the date, would be my guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, my assumption is that the new people, they asked Trek alumni what should about conventions. They all said, do them straight away because you get money straight away. Even if you're not the most popular person, you're still gonna make hundreds for very easy, very relatively. It's no coal mining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amber Olson throws in $2 in PayPal and says, "I can't stand you." I think that means young adult because it's capitalized. YA. "I can't stand young adult. I decided to give it a go after, and I have been enjoying it for the most part. My kids this age would not like this show. The young adult is more 90s than what modern young adults are dealing with right now. Good Trek addresses who we are now and where we want to go." Interesting.
Well, when the some of the old Trek writers or the old Trek producers were on the Shellpod podcast, they mentioned very aptly that new Trek just speaks like today, so it dates itself very strongly.
Yes.
Whereas old Trek had a vibe that was more theatrical and abstract, so it doesn't like TNG does not feel 80s specifically. Whereas this Trek will feel like this era. You're never going to watch Stranger Worlds and think their dialogue sounds like 2030 because it's not going to linger until 2030, right? So it will feel exactly what was made and that will be a problem in 30 years. Like, that was 2010's Trek, 2020's Trek. So when I write my fan films, I'm very specific. I write the TOS era a bit more 60s because that was how it was written, saying words you wouldn't say in 90s Trek because it's weird, but you would. They mentioned Christmas in a film because they more likely to in Gene's thing because they had a chapel and blah blah whatever. It was an offhand reference. And then 90s I write it in a more whatever way. I'm still contemplating writing a more modern Trek version and just going full ham with it because how they would do it,
Yeah.
But then see how silly it would sound. But it's definitely a tone and it will date, and that's harder to watch for some people because it is more limited in its approach by being so now.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, and I mean they addressed that in Star Trek 4, like the people swearing every second word. Things have changed, So yeah, it's always been a thing with Star Trek. So yeah, the modern vernacular in the new shows bugs me. Um, I mean, the only one that doesn't bug me is Lower Decks. I just saw a thing recently where Tawny Newsome was being interviewed, and she said, "We didn't know they were going to bleep the words out. Mike McMahon just thought it was funnier with the bleeps." So
Oh, I mean, that was the best. Really, that would be
yeah,
horrible if they not bleeped it.
yeah. So
Oh,
uh,
okay.
yeah, I mean that's different though, because that's Lower Decks. It's got that different kind of, it's got that satire kind of parody vibe. But yeah, with a lot of the, yeah, Starfleet Academy is really bad for the modern language. So
And it does
mm,
always feel odd when Newsbracker is quoting Sound of Music. It's
yeah,
like, no, suspension of disbelief only goes so far, and I'm very
yeah,
specific in how I do mine so that people believe it. Because otherwise, why you
yeah.
make it? Mm.
All right. Next up is, oh, you have something to say?
No, I was waiting for you.
Oh,
Sorry, that was
oh,
waiting until you could say face.
oh.
Sorry.
Sussy Guru 2000 throws in €5. Actually, I think Klingons should be more gay than other species, considering even the straight ones are into buff Klingon warrior women. Okay.
Although it's not gay if the women are that buff.
Exactly.
I don't know if
All right. I
gayness
see what
is
he's
based
I see what
on
he's trying to say. I see what
buffness
he's trying to say.
versus genitalia, but don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is also fair.
Um, the Diplomat 27 throws
Oh,
in
oh,
$10
cool name.
and says, I feel like classic Trek focused more on story, thought-provoking sci-fi concepts and characters. New Trek focuses more on looking good. I mean, you're not wrong. They are very good-looking shows as far as visual effects go. Um, that's the problem. I mean, Starfleet Academy specifically is not very sci-fi centric in its storytelling. It doesn't step out of the box and try new things necessarily. It's very much just focused on kids at a school, and it shows. But yeah,
Can I point out
so
we've got a negative title for this vid live and 141 people here, Stuart. Where are you guys
of
normally
course
during our reviews and breakdowns and other lives? Where are you guys normally? Same time we're always here. Where are you?
we put a negative spin on it, and look what happened. That's what we were talking about earlier.
People, yeah. I mean,
Speaking of though,
oh,
143 of you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get those likes up. We have 47 likes. Like our discussion. If you don't like New Trek, you don't have to hit like for that.
mhm.
Hit like for our discussion, including you guys.
Although interesting on the breakdown a little bit what the diplomat said. I mean, old Trek, the different characters was varied because look at Troy, look at various characters, they were super underdeveloped. I mean, so they're not
Yeah.
characters are not the focus unless DS9's in play. And I wouldn't agree New Trek focus. Now that's a broad thing, right? Because all of them are different. If Prodigy trying to look good, yes, it's a try to impress with animation style. But Academy specifically, I wouldn't say it tries to look good. I think the set is big, and now they're overusing them. They didn't build enough variety that it's looking very samey, and actually kind of looking not bad, but boring now. And certainly, the I mean, the first two were better, but they were new. So I think Academy doesn't try and look good. I mean, the uniforms are plain. The attack vests aren't they're not well designed really. The
They're
makeup isn't
cheap.
well, yeah, basic. So I actually think, and the space shots are fine. There's not that many of them. So I think this show isn't trying to look good. It's trying to be fun and character based. So I think to the character, this show is very character focused, and there are sometimes sci-fi elements to them with the first two, kind of most of the second one. So that's the thing. This show is trying to do other things, but I don't think looking good is one of them. I think it actually doesn't as an active thing. Whereas
I see what you're saying.
Picard
Yeah,
season
yeah.
one did try and look good because they had a lot of very fancy shots, a lot of
hmm
lighting.
hmm hmm
It's just the story was good dog shit, and the characterization was terrible. So that
Yeah.
failed. This is doing well at characterization for the most part and story to some
Yes.
very. I mean, all right, but I think yeah, which I think is probably why it's better because it's not. It's just trying to look like a normal TV show and
Yes.
focus on other stuff. Twit, you even said Stuart that Kurtzman directed well.
Yeah. I mean, that first episode I think was well directed, and I was surprised to see it was Kurtzman that did it. So,
Hmm. Both well directed, yeah. No,
and everyone knows if you've been watching Trekyards, I don't like Kurtzman. I'm not a fan. So for me to say that, I mean, anyway, that check from CBS cleared. But anyway,
All $9?
900,000 for me. You only got a $9 one? Oh man.
Oh, they messed some zeros, eh? Oh.
Let's continue on.
Yes.
Robert Buckley throws in $5 and says, "Sorry, I'm late." No problem, Robert. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Um, guys, $5. 21st century Trek is myopically obtuse in the writing, in its writing, stories, dialogue, and vision. It sucks. Everything about it, all the writing sucks. I think there's one or two highlights here and there, even in really bad Trek, except for Section 31. I can't remember anything good from that. But anyway.
Yeah.
And Spock's Clock again with $2. My 2 cents. We see title we agree with and show up. Ah.
So they don't
But
want
a
to
lot of our
review
titles are
TNG or
neutral.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we do T&D reviews and like 16 people show up. It's
Well,
like
in the 20s, but yeah. I mean, breakdowns and phase reviews, etc. Would have thought you'd turn up to that. But Daniel, classic Daniel says, "Hey friends, I haven't even watched Starfleet Academy. I just stick to the weekly reviews. To me, it doesn't feel like Star Trek anymore. Burn Bragg era was the franchise peak. I mean, there was the only era, really. They were in it for like all of the middle, right? There wasn't really. And most of what followed highly qualifies as Trek. That's how I loved Lower Decks, and the Pike Prodigy was excellent too. It only gets better, and then peaks, and then goes down a bit, and then whatever. Daniel, hope you're feeling better with things and bobs. You can do it. And also Borg stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Spock's Clock says, "I'm all about the hate train, baby." Just kidding, but also sort of really.
Because '09 is a Trek movie that I, in terms of, at the time was the most Blair, and it's been 17 years. I've never watched it again. I mean, isn't that the most expression of my dislike for it? I've watched bits of it again. I've never watched the whole thing through in 17 years. I was half my age the last time I watched that. I think Beyond I've watched 3 times.
Yeah, how about Into Darkness? The best of them. Because it's
never all the way through, but I've watched more of Into Darkness. So I would consider that more watched. I've never watched the last half an hour of '09 again, ever. So I barely remember it. I just can't get to that bit. I know the shoot. I mean, I remember it in the sense I've got good visual memory, but I couldn't tell you the beat for beat.
Launching their 8 warp cores into space
Out of multiple silos. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. How embarrassing.
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe the Klingons in season 1. That was maybe the closest thing to hating Trek I got, with how disrespectful and bad they were, and misunderstanding everything about everything.
Yeah.
But we'd seen that in leaks. Had that been first day, never seen it, I probably had a much more visceral reaction because it was so abhorrent in how they did them.
But I remember covering those leaks and saying, the quote was, having some lunch with my Klingon besties or whatever. And we were like, "Are you sure these are Klingons? These look like they might be Remans." And we did the full analysis going, the Herc, these are clearly not Klingons. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, we were saying that up until the last minute because they couldn't be that stupid, right? And before anyone
Couldn't be that stupid, right?
And before anyone says the Klingons changed throughout the years, no, they didn't. They were changed for the TMP. They were then changed for Star Trek 3. Yeah, 3. And then TNG used the designs for Star Trek 3. And then Westmore finished the Klingon designs for TNG. And then he did this Klingons in 5 and 6. And then all Klingons from then on. So from like 1989, all the Klingons have been the same until the end of Enterprise when he did them all. So no, the Klingons did not. They changed twice and then stayed the same for decades.
Yeah.
Yes.
Robert Buckley throws in $5 and says, "How come you have watched number 3 so much? It's the worst of the 3 movies." Okay, I used to like you, Robert. It's the best of the 3 movies, easily, hands down. Best of the Kelvin films.
Why? Why is it? Does anyone agree? Give us the.
And Jamal Taylor says, "Do a video where Sam revisits the Kelvin movies again." Well, we are doing movie reviews. They were pretty regular last year, but then New Trek came on and all that, whatever.
Christmas.
So we're gonna get back into that. Try to do one a month. where it's drunk yards on the weekend. We watch the movie again, we review it, and
Does take a
we'll
while to
get to
do.
we'll get to the Kelvin ones at some point. But yes, we will.
2027, 28. Off my third kid's born,
32.
No, that's odd, yeah, because I mean, Beyond, it knows what's trying to be the most. The first 20 minutes is excellent.
Yeah.
And Kirk's good in it for the most part.
And the Enterprise dies, which is amazing. Ugly Enterprise.
And things also, we know Sean Hargraves, and we know we know him, we knew him, we know, whatever. And he meant really well. So that helps to know that Yorktown base was meant well. It's daft and ridiculous and plot holes, whatever. But they meant well, and you can feel that more going in. It wasn't made of the cynical screw the Trek fans. And I'm fine with it being a motorcycle because you're allowed to have random antiques. Why has Cisco got that thing that you look out into the stars? That's anachronistic. Well, yeah.
Sexton.
Yeah. He's allowed to have a bike, which is just a weird thing he brought from home. It's fine.
Patter of Head says, oh, Robert Buckley, the third one is the only one that feels vaguely felt like Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had more heart than the other ones. Misha, though, throws in $10. So thank you so much, Misha. I watched and enjoyed Into Darkness. Of course, I was crazy high on shrooms at the time. Ooh. So, I mean, I've said this before. Into Darkness is a fun joyride. Just turn your brain off. Popcorn, it's a popcorn movie, right? But when you fit it into the world of Star Trek, it just doesn't work. It's an action-packed blockbuster, always moving, pacing's fast and kind of furious. Even though it was Beyond that was directed by Lynn, the director of the Fast and Furious movies. But it's a fun enough movie if you take Star Trek out of it.
Well, and if you haven't seen any other Star Treks to have any other preconceived notions, then it's any other film, and any other film can be fun. You're not watching Rush Hour thinking, oh yeah, but Chris Rock, in the prequel show, he did this, he would never do. But that's the problem with the franchise. You got to respect it. Interesting side comment briefly from Devereaux. I'm not sure exactly who he's responding to, but just a little side note. Remember the guy who wrote the best episode of TOS ever, Stranger Forever, falling out with Gene Roddenberry or over rewrites? Although
Arlen Ellison, yeah.
Although in fairness, the Stranger Forever original script isn't very similar to the fun episode. So while he wrote it, he unfortunately shouldn't really be given the credit of writing it because Gene did a lot of rewrite, other people did rewrite. So the final is not his vision in any real way.
Yes.
So, just saying, he wrote it his best one, whereas
a totally different story.
Whereas Trials and Tribulations was written and kept very similar, which is why you can give that chap more credit because he modified a lot of stuff Gene did, which is why it's hard to discredit him because a lot of stuff he added was the good stuff as well because he had so many rewrites.
Yeah. All right, Miss Maria throws in $5.
Thanks much.
It says, I wanted to see more ramifications of Jaden being gay. For instance, he was being pressured to have babies with a woman. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We still have 3 episodes this season. We still have another whole season to go. Maybe there is some Klingon cultural thing that he's going to get sucked into and he's not going to be able to, he's supposed to marry someone, a female or something. Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities on the table. So,
but also, why would anyone pressure him, people being gay for hundreds? Like, if everyone in the Trek universe has accepted gay people for going on 1,000 years. I don't know how the Third World War went, but why it wouldn't be a thing, really? I don't know. It just feels like it's a problem that shouldn't be introduced. That's why in TNG season 1 and 2, whatever, Gene's rule was the people can't have into problems because they're beyond that. It's aliens that bring in. So if we bring in-Earth gay problems being gay, it takes you out of it. Whereas if it was an alien race who were only... Maybe they were only gay. I don't know how. But you know what I mean. Aliens coming have a problem as you deal with it.
There's a TNG episode about that, where they don't have sexes.
Well, I mean,
there's just one sex.
Yeah, but the gay thing in particular, it works better from the outside in because then it doesn't make our people look worse. Or if there's one guy who didn't like gay people, the Academy would be like, "You are so weird." Everyone would think he was very weird because it's like, oh.
Yeah.
But also, might not be gay, might like everybody. Yeah. How is the poll going up? 140 votes. My goodness, Stuart.
Nice. We'll close out in just a second. I'll start with this next one. Robert Buckley, $5. because how they portrayed the NX-326, they did it dirty. How so?
I mean, it was dirty,
I think the Franklin,
in fairness.
yeah, I think the Franklin's one of the better things from that movie. Um, I still love the movie as a whole, but I think it's interesting that it was a Warp 4 ship or Warp 3 ship. Was it Warp 3? Warp 4. It wasn't a Warp 5 ship
Warp
because that
4.
was the NX-01.
Because 3
Yeah,
was in Enterprise.
yeah. So I don't know what you mean by that specifically, Robert, but
Well, he just probably didn't like the bridge or something. I mean, fair enough, it should have been 20% close to Prime, but it was the
yeah,
closest thing
right.
we'd had to that point. But Stuart, the poll, 144 votes, so I'm glad you guys anonymously voted. The winner, although it did move a bit, the winner, 36%, is I never thought a gay Klingon was a problem.
Good.
The second best is yes, no gay Klingons. It's wrong.
Oh, wow.
28%. And then very close to next one is Klingons can be gay, of course, 19%, and Klingons aren't gay in canon, 17%. So mathing, that means 57% say gay is fine, but 40-something say gay is not fine. Fair enough. Honesty is good. Ooh, do I go even harder with the question? Ooh, how honest do you guys feel like being?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's all anonymous. All right, let's see what we're doing. Likewise, we have 112 people here. A lot of people dropped out, but welcome to everybody who's here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that like button. We have 65 likes. I'd like to get up to 80 likes if we can. So if you haven't hit like yet, I mean, you're liking our discussion and us hanging out with you guys. So like that. If you don't like New Trek, that's fine. You're not liking the video for that. It's not how likes work. But it's how the human brain works based on the likes we get on videos that are controversial. So hit the like button for us. We appreciate it.
And do you want me to read out the controversial poll, or should I read out the controversial poll?
I will read it.
Okay.
Because do you like Jaden less because he is gay and likes men? I think he's a fantastic character. I really like Jaden. I think he's a good character.
I don't know if anyone's fantastic yet, but he's not overbearing.
Oh, I like him. I enjoy him I enjoy seeing him on screen. I like his voice. I like the deep voice.
Well, he vibes very much like Michael Dorn's Worf. Not necessarily all, but he's definitely the Michael Dorn Worf style of I am gravelly and I am slow talking, for I am Klingon. So cool.
The actor's great, but like literally half an hour before this live, I saw a video where he's talking about Alex Kurtzman. He's like, Alex Kurtzman is the nicest guy. He loves Trek so much. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? He likes his Trek.
Well, that's the difference.
Yeah, but
although the sad thing is, at a certain point, if he continues, he will have been working Trek longer than the original creators. So then at that point, year-wise, there's more of his Trek than else's Trek.
Wow.
But also, he's a very, very, very rich man, so he can afford to be nice to people. Because if he's earning producer money for every single show and back-end stuff and deals, I mean, he's presumably earning 5-10 million a year. You know, he can afford to be. Oh, I'll do this whole promo by myself. You know, he can afford to. He's, you know.
Sasiguru 2000 throws in €5 and says, there is a sequence in the crash saucer section in the third one with the flashing lights that literally made my eyes hurt in the cinema.
Fair.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry.
Robert Buckley, $5. They say it was the first Warp 4 ship, but Enterprise was the first to break that barrier, and also it was more advanced than the NX, but it's somehow older. It wasn't more advanced than the NX, and the NX was the first one to break the Warp 5 barrier.
Yeah, we reviewed it at the time. NX was the first Warp 5 ever, and in fact, it could barely reach Warp 5.2. That was the whole thing, because there was the Warp 5 engine, and no other ship before that. But also, you've got to remember, guys, very explicitly in the movie, that Franklin we see is the post-Romulan War refit. Because it's not a test ship, it's a Mako strike ship, which means every set piece was designed post-Romulan War, which is like 5 years after the NX-01. So it would look more advanced than NX-01 in the inside. it would. If it wasn't refitted, it'd be weird because like hell, you're gonna use a test ship as a strike craft. Like hell, you are right.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Everything makes sense in that movie, that ship, except it has no visible weapon ports. They just didn't put them on. It also doesn't fire any weapons as far as I can remember. So these are sound waves. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Uh guys, throws in $50
Oh,
super chat, so thank you so much.
appreciate you.
He
Wow.
said
Ooh, okay.
this is a quote. This is a quote. I got to know Gene Roddenberry in 3 years fairly well, Shatner said. He'd be turning in his grave at some of this stuff. Nobody cares if anybody is gay today, so effing what? The gay isn't the gay thing isn't edgy or risque today, so why would it be in the future? Well, exactly. But it scares a lot of people that don't understand it, I guess. And so they got all up in arms about, oh no, I don't want to see gay on screen. I don't know. Silly mindset.
And I would imagine that he would be rolling his grave, but he didn't like Star Trek 6 either.
He didn't like Star Trek 6. He didn't like a lot of decisions made on the Next Generation after season 2
Yeah.
because he was kind of ousted.
Yeah.
And Rick Berman even would put like a blindfold on the bust of Roddenberry and turn it when he was making decisions and having conversations that Gene wouldn't approve of, which was a lot.
I mean,
And Star Trek really got good when Gene was kicked out, as far as TNG goes, anyway.
yeah, he was a visionary with the universe, but the universe doesn't necessarily equate to good storytelling after a certain point because you can't have conflict. As in, now I try not to do interpersonal conflicts as well. I try and stay close to Gene's vision if I can, because why wouldn't I, right? But yeah, he would not like loads of stuff. He definitely wouldn't like Lower Decks for all the swearing and spread Eagle Boimler. And
he hated Star Trek 6. He saw it 2 weeks
yeah,
before he died, and he did not like it. So,
well, it is really hard to watch people you created be thoroughly speciesist.
yeah.
Even though you can understand it, very much so. I mean, so it's antithetical to his I want to be better.
Yep.
We also probably didn't kill Kirk's son in 3. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, but also I try to stay with Gene's vision because if I can, just with that more technical stuff that we know from the canon, but the ship stuff, because obviously he didn't have any of that stuff at some point. He only helped design 2 ships or 3 ships, so and then 3 Enterprises.
Yeah. Robert Buckley, $5. So if they fix that, I'll say it is the best of JJ movies. Well, Sam just explains the reason. It's a refitted version of the ship. So
yeah, because it was 15 years after it was originally launched. It was in service doing something way not designed for. See, the window is the biggest issue, but it's also a test ship, so you can argue a window being useful because
it's also super small, which I don't have an issue with the window on the bridge on such a small ship.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, go back and watch our. I think we called out Hargraves that at the time because why wouldn't we? Just in a nice way. I feel like as in I think you wrote it and I rewrote it to say something like, but just so you guys know, the NXO, the tests, the Delta and Alpha, which obviously we know because we're techie fans, they were using the Phoenix, what was left of the set pieces. So it was a Phoenix cockpit modified, and also they had windows. They're also nuclear weapons modified, but they had windows. So you could argue all test ships have windows just in case. See, there are very logical ways you can reason things that Franklin kind of gets away with in a way that I wouldn't accept warp test ship in Voyager having a window. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Unless it was a runabout size, then fine, yes. But it's a shuttle, isn't it?
Well, exactly. Size determines that.
Size matters some.
Until you talk to.
Well,
Sasaguru 2000 throws in €5. I mean, the fact that there is so much pearl clutching over a gay Klingon, it seems pretty risque to me. Yeah.
Well, they might have thought it was risky. I mean, they would have known the reaction from some people. It's just amazing how social media brings some voices higher. Because the silent majority, man. Silent majority.
Yeah.
That's why I almost wish in the universe in general, you could either mandate voting for political parties, so you'd actually get true representation, or you could like look at someone's brain and see what they really think and vote. Because I feel if you every Trek fan, the percentage would be like astoundingly who cares by like 90th percentile. If you just vote to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not how this works.
Yeah.
They do it on purpose called Rage Bait. I mean, that is true. A lot of trailers are made with that in mind, a lot of characters. But I think he's not very gay. The actor is quite gay. The character is actually quite Klingon. And even his, looks at Kyle. Kyle's not even that gay. Really, is he? He's just some guy who fancies some other guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a null point to me.
Joshua Stearns throws in $5.
Thank you so much.
So thank you. I like the variety of stories in New Trek and the amazing universe building of classic Trek. In my opinion, Star Trek Academy is too new to hate/love. Well, there you go. It's a good opinion to have. I mean, you just let it play out and see how it marinates. Yeah.
Well, also it's hard for the actors who are making Academy right now because they know both seasons. So when they're reviewing, when we're talking to fan members, they're like, "Oh, you haven't seen episode this of the. You're probably gonna love this, or we made that for you, or whatever." It's kind of hard to see it when we're only seeing a bit. That was like well, it's not quite like, but there's Doctor Who where they there was an oddity of did you see Shooty's season, Stuart?
Who's season?
Shooty Gatwa's season of Doctor Who.
I don't even know what that means.
The Black Doctor. Okay. Yep. He started his official run with an episode called Space Babies, which was terrible. Absolutely appalling. And it was, I mean, we asked in the room, they picked this to start their show? But they might have thought better things were coming. And a couple of good episodes, but, I might have rage bait just to kind of start with something terrible. Don't know. At least Academy started strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to have some less good ones. Starting strong helps, and I do think they'll stick the landing at the end. I have very little worry that they'll you know what I mean. I feel like they will have a strong end of season, especially as we know someone might not be coming back. Is not coming back. Yeah.
But guys, throws in $20.
Thanks so much.
So thank you. Nobody liked the gay thing because it is not a thing to be in a story. Who cares? It is not smart. It is like a kid thinking their problems are new problems, not shiny or new. Trek is about what can be now. What is?
Well, that's the thing. But no one's judging him for being gay in the show, so they've done that, right?
Yes.
Only people now are judging, but people in the show aren't judging, so it isn't relevant in the show. And in fact, you could argue the tone they're going for is Jaden can look past the fact that he's a bloody, annoying war college guy. That's the journey. If the guy that just chose not to be king, if he can look past being, that's the story, not the gayness. Yeah.
And Sienna03 says, "I can't believe you're pushing this crap. We're reviewing it like we review everything."
Discovery season 1 is far worse. I mean, it's just so much worse. I mean, we
reviewed that. Good and bad. We didn't really enjoy the last episode. Like, we review them as they're presented to us at face value. Then we dig a little deeper and we actually get into the meat of it. And even the worst Trek has good in it.
But also, we couldn't talk about it if we didn't review it, if we didn't watch it, sorry. So, all the people that say, "Oh, I watched the first episode and I hated it," it's like, well, then you have no valid opinion on the rest of the season because you can't. So at least want to watch them,
Yep.
A Klingon birdwatcher, great. Have you seen their ships? They're called birds of prey. They like birds. You know how the Romulans have all their ships of war birds? Birds are a big part of things. I can imagine they have pet eagles that fly and go on hunts with them. Yeah, 100%. I think bird watching actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, exactly. They have birds of prey as part of their hunting parties. They therefore watch that bird flying other birds. Maybe that the eagle, bird of prey, can get other birds out of the sky and bring them as meals. Right? On the campfire. It's great. good stuff.
Academy is actually making Discovery look better, kind of how Star Wars sequels made the prequels look better.
Now, Jay, what do you mean by that? Because I think Discovery makes Academy look better. Because let's be fair, Stu, if Academy was the first new show in the new Trek era, we'd say, oh, it's West Enterprise. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But because Discovery exists, we're like, oh, at least it's better than Discovery. And Picard Season 1, they've improved.
And 2.
And 2. They've improved. Oh yeah, boy, your biggest problem with Picard Season 2 was the pace structure and the Dragon. There is plenty of story in these episodes. It might not be a great story, but the pacing's fine. For the most part. They're doing stuff every episode. There's twists and some... They're doing stuff.
And I just want to caveat that by saying it doesn't come close to being like golden era of Trek, like TNG, DS9, Voyager. Those are infinitely better stacked up against any of these. So that's why we have the different rankings at the end of our reviews, where we compare it to old Trek as well, because it's different metric. Yeah.
I mean, let me bring out just those that think we're... I can't imagine people thinking we're too positive about it, because we're obviously not. But to reiterate our scores, which I have to find out.
Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't done so already. We appreciate it. 102 of you here, 75 likes. Oh, okay, good. I want to get another 5, though. I did say 80 as a goal for likes, so hit that like button. If you're one of the 5 people, well, just hit the like button. Let's get 5 more likes at least to get up to 80. I'd appreciate it.
And just for contrast, guys, this last episode, Stu, you gave it 3.5 for enjoyment, which is pretty bad. 5.7 for New Trek, which is much better. And 3.2 compared to Old Trek. I gave it...
Lower than that.
I gave it 4 out of 10 for enjoyment, so more than you. But New Trek lower, 4.3. And Old Trek, 1.9. So that gives you... That's the difference it can be, where stands are lower. But also, we can't be living Discovery Season 1 era, where, you know... They can't make great Trek, and we know they can't. So we've got to judge it on its own merits, right? It's not as bad as Discovery. And Session 31 we'll even talk about. Because that's even worse.
Jay Moore says, Samuel, I've since gone back and watched the Discovery premiere and compared it to Academy. It was more quote-unquote Trek, adventure, and space stuff, and less soap opera.
But the Klingons, the ships, the tech, the uniforms, the holograms, the Klingons warping in somehow already there, the Torchbearer stabbing himself with his own bat'leth, even though it's his one job. I mean, all those plot points.
It's facing up against Michael Burnham, so that's true. That would fluster anybody.
That's true. She can nerve pinch her captain, whatever. I mean, yes, but it's far stupider. And I will agree that yes, of course, RK does say, increase forward shields, even though they're at the reverse of them. They make stupid decisions 100%, or murdering the entire crew when she could have disabled them. Yeah, that's terrible as well. But, I mean, I listed like 10 groundbreakingly universe-breaking things in the first episode of Discovery. With nothing like that except the shield thing in Academy.
And Maze 4, I'm sorry, Maze, says one of the stupidest things I've heard lately. In the pale moonlight is quantum leaps ahead of modern Trek. Yes, absolutely. That doesn't need to be said. It's, oh my God.
Although Gene would hate it because it makes Sisko look terrible.
Gene would fucking despise it. Absolutely. Yes.
But it's a very true to life human story. In war, you got to do bad things to save millions of people, which is why I'm very against Insurrection story. I wrote my entire dissertation on Insurrection because Picard was wrong, in my opinion, and I explained why. That the life of 300 people does not outweigh everyone who'll die because they couldn't use the radiation to save their kids from dying in the Dominion War. All those people's blood are in Picard's hands, just for the, 300 people were native, ooh. So, morally, I think that movie's stupid. But, Pale Moonlight, gotta do what you gotta do, maybe. At least she punched Garak,
Yeah.
Would have been funny, though. Not funny, but would have been funny if the next episode, there was this little scene at the start of the episode where Garak learns that his, power allocation has been done to 1/10, so he has to only be a story of, an hour a day as a punishment. Because he wasn't punished for it, was he? He got away with killing a senator and doing all these bad things. But when it kind of he had a punishment to kind of like, I mean, you can't. That doesn't justify what he did, of course, but like some level of punishment. Yeah. But then you could argue Sisko could punish himself because he also got stuff done. Yeah. We didn't know. Anyway.
And BJ Turan says the root beer scene in DS9 is billions better than much of new Trek. Yes, we've said that already. Compared to old Trek, none of this new stuff except for Prodigy and Lower Decks.
Because it just is old Trek, but sort of newish.
Yeah, exactly. None of the new stuff even compares. So we're not. It's comparing apples and oranges, but our review style reflects that. We're not saying any of the new stuff is better than the old stuff because it's absolutely 100% not.
Yes.
So I don't know why people are pointing out the obvious in the chat. Like, yes. I think you might misunderstand us, quote unquote, defending this or pushing this because we're not.
But also, how much of modern sci-fi is as good as old Trek? Oh, how much modern sci-fi is there? Right? I mean, let's be honest. If you compare, okay, BSG went downhill, but if you compare even like TNG to BSG, at peak BSG, as a direct comparison, BSG might be like 9 point something, TNG might be like 7 point something, right? You know what I mean? Like comparison's important.
Yeah.
Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
But let's end the poll though with 94 votes, which is a lot of people. I asked the question: do you think, or do you like, Jaden less because he's gay or likes men? This is an anonymous poll. 64% say no, and 36% say yes. So roughly 65, 35 people.
Interesting.
But you do you. Okay, the polls I can throw in. Oh, I've got more people to put there. Because we asked one the other day, which was I hadn't even considered season 1 of Enterprise or season 1 of Academy. That's a really interesting comparison. It's a really interesting comparison. We'll have to get into it at some point because yeah, really interesting.
Yeah. Well, while you're thinking, Misha throws in $10. So thank you so much, Misha.
Appreciate you.
I find it interesting that the fandom menace types love citing Pale Moonlight, but rarely mention episodes like Beyond the Stars. Like Far Beyond the Stars?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's loads of good episodes, right? That's just the famous because Far Beyond the Stars is like in a light, it's abstract, whereas Pale Moonlight is 100% the canon and the characters. So like everything there has repercussions. Pale Moonlight really doesn't. So it's good sci-fi, less good Trek, because it's not being Trek for most of it. It's being a writer in the racist era's story, which is great, but it's not the point of, for me, Trek, which is sci-fi stories of the time, not parallel past allegory stuff personally, but that's just because I like tech and ships, aliens.
Cuckwood says Stargate SG-1 is one of the best science fiction series. Can always rewatch. A bit nervous about the new series. Well, yeah, any new series coming out, you're going to be a bit nervous about it. But considering it's the same creators,
give or take,
such, I think it'll be good. Hopefully, it's not going to be a reboot or anything. So.
I mean, Universe is also the same creators. You might not like the idea, but at least it'll be made in the right way. You know, just like some people don't like DS9 for the idea, not necessarily how it was made. But God, you compare Academy to Stargate SG-1. I mean, SG-1 is one of the best sci-fi's ever made, in my opinion. I mean, Stargate really never goes below a 7. Pretty much ever. It's shocking.
Even in its own metrics against each other. Like, is there a
that's a good question.
A threshold or a Spock's brain?
Yeah. But that's season 1, because season 2 jumps so hard radically. And they're less interesting episodes. To each other, that'd be interesting, because I would have to definitionally, you're right, have to do that.
Yeah. But I know what you mean.
It's shockingly good average.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. Just like Lower Decks. Remember Lower Decks? We had a problem ranking them after a while because they came out so strong out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like from episode 1. We found the delineation between scores was like, Yeah, so we had to like lower some, which were still great episodes when compared to like Discovery would be like head and shoulders above.
Well, that's why allegory the cake analogy, because the icing on the cake, the cherry on the top of the icing, the chocolate frosting, they're all elements. And Lower Decks was always a tasty cake, but it often missed the mark of having the cherry on top or the chocolate icing. It was always a tasty cake. It just wasn't necessarily got the secret sauce that made it extra. Whereas Wage Douche
Yeah.
was fucking a bakery of cakes, fucking
Mhm.
just drowning in fucking cakes. But also, there's like 3 cakes in that story, so that was obviously they're all done very well. Anyway,
Yeah. Devo says the remake of Battlestar Galactica, some episodes make you feel hopeless. I wouldn't suggest watching it to someone who is depressed. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'm rewatching it now, and yeah, it definitely hits the nail on the head as far as, your whole species and all your has been wiped out vibe. So
I mean, what, there's
yeah,
like 50,000 people left in the
yeah,
universe,
50,000. Yeah, and
and
I
it's
love how it just keeps ticking down. Like she keeps changing the board.
yeah, which they do
Yeah.
the entire show. It's really harsh because you don't think about it, and then something happens. It goes. I think one episode it went down like 10,000. It's like, oh god,
Yeah.
oh, and they obviously end with a lot less. I mean, because it's such a bullshit thing to have to work at every episode to work out the consistency. But they were adding babies to the number, but then something happened and you lose people. But it was they really worked hard to keep that consistent for just a throwaway gag, in the sense of, it's like a family American Dad, sorry, the Roger gag. They have to put work in every week for it, but it's a throwaway gag. But it actually can often mean something in the context of the story. Not often, but it can.
Mhm. Okay, well, let's see what's going on with 97 people here. Fell below 100, so that's okay. Hit that like button though. We have 87 likes. Can we get to 100 likes? I think we can, because not all 86 or 96 of you has hit that like button. Hit the like button. Let's see if we can get 13 more. I'd appreciate that.
I want to see it.
Yes.
Voteth knoweth. But there was another poll, Stuart. Read out if you can. It might be a slight slam dunk, but we'll see.
Before I read it, I just want to read one comment real quick.
Sure.
Sean says that's interesting because that's, as someone who struggles with chronic depression, BSU is my comfort series. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Which is better TV show, Stargate, SG-1, or Star Trek? We're going for 100% poll here. Oh, it's already.
I mean, I don't know how anybody could say it. And if you want people going to say it, could justify why. Because, I mean, 7 episodes, of course, but not in a full show. But the quality is...
I mean,
it might sound a bit harsh, but if Stargate SG-1 was a 10, is Academy a 1? I'm summarizing broadly, but I feel there's that much of a distinction between the two.
yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not a 3, it's like... I think it's probably that level of difference.
Well, where would you put TNG in that? If Stargate was a 10?
8.
Okay. I would say probably an 8.9.
I
I'd
wasn't...
put,
yeah, I wasn't
I'd put it
using...
up closer to 9, but...
I wasn't doing sub points. So I would probably said BSG was a 9 just because the highs are absurdly high and the CG is much better. So everything about it is more broadly better, but then it gets much worse. But then TNG has some crap episodes too. So I think that would be. But I mean, I'm right.
We should do that. We should do the. Oh, we kind of have done a tier list where we rank sci-fi series, but
I feel like we need one because ranking is difficult when there's only 6 options. I feel like we need to work out a chart like 10 or 12 to properly delineate. To actually to see, because like you said, the difference between the TNG and the SG-1, you have to have minutia because they're not both S. Well, they can both be S, but they wouldn't all be 10 out of 10, and that's fair. At least we're probably delineating. Oh man, that's tricky.
Salazar says, I mean, if you compare only the Crystal Skull episode of SG-1 with Academy, you might have a fair fight.
And it's not a bad episode. It's not a great episode. I mean, the acting for the guy's good. Backstory for Daniel's fine. The CG at the end's pretty good. You like Ancient Aliens. I like Ancient Aliens. It's a fun Ancient Alien. The fact they never get answers is kind of cool. It's not great. It's not bad. Not great.
Misha says, I can't compare a series with over 200 episodes to one which is 7. I mean, fair.
But the budget per episode, I mean, if you look
Oh, yeah. Well, even with inflation, though.
Let me do some math.
Oh, good God. uh, yeah. NCC 1988 says never a big fan of, never a big Stargate fan, but love the movie and the fact that it's still relevant. Need to watch the whole series, but I vote for Stargate just in the I love Stargate fact. There you go.
Yeah, the movie's great. I'm fucking so annoyed there's not a 4K of the movie. I'm sure there's a
There's
reason. No.
Oh.
And they haven't done a reprint of the Blu-ray for a long time. I've been holding off because 4K and the miniature work's so good. I mean, it'll look glorious, but I'm assuming anniversary. You tend to wait for anniversaries, right? But I would assume that they'd launch that before the new Stargate show because why wouldn't you get the zeitgeist of way, you know?
Mm. And Sir Dork is chiming in. He says, "Hey guys, while I'm on my break, I'm going to throw out my 2 cents. While I hate how everyone throws around the word woke, I will say it does perfectly prove there's some definite big problems with modern Trek."
I mean, it would be hard to watch most TNG and say it's woke. That definition, that specific definition,
Yeah.
progressive and balanced and people, yes, but yeah. Well, I don't think Academy's woke. I think that's actually in very good at not being. I would say Discovery's more.
Yeah.
If I had to.
Speaking of,
Oh,
Tilly's going to be in the next episode of Starfleet Academy, so
we would not have put money on appearing in one episode.
I would have. We knew she was going to be in one episode.
Oh, before we knew.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because that was the pitch, but I guess not.
Yes.
So apparently, this is ChatGPT, so we'll take that with a grain of salt. With inflation, SG1, this is season 1 because first season, right? With inflation, 3 million an episode in Academy is between 10 and 20 million, so 15. So it's at least 3 times more. So it was so there are a full season of budget for the season to get as many episodes. 10 to so it's costs way more.
Misha goes on to say, Stargate Universe versus Starfleet Academy. Now that's a pretty fair comparison.
Better writing. But it's a better comparison.
Yeah.
So according to this, again, this is all rough. Academy season 1 is about 100 million. SG1 season 1 is 66 million. So it's much cheaper for over 2 times many episodes. And the sets are better. More boring, I suppose, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's get 50 votes. I am intrigued, though, to see you're right about Universe, because that metric will be a little bit different. So, guys, keep voting. 44 votes. We're calling it 98% SG1 and 2% Academy. Can I be smug? Am I allowed to be smug on that?
Reese Drury says, only managed 1.5 episodes. It seems too, quote unquote, fluffy to me, being ex-military and seeing how these young, quote unquote, adults behave just hurts my soul.
Which is funny, because the first episode has Newsbracker attacking the ship, damaging it heavily, the captain killing the crew, and the kid beating up prisoners and electrifying them. So, and also in prison is quite dramatic. It gets fluffier, but I'd say the first episode was not fluffy. But he does go over it quite quickly.
And Captain Tim Adkins says, you guys are the first channel I subscribe to.
Oh.
I won't say I hate the show, but sometimes I see the look on Stuart's face during the reviews, and I'm like, yes, it's not good. Not logical stories. There are moments for sure, yes.
But not as many as Discovery.
Oh, no. Go watch the Discovery stuff. Lots of eye rolls and like, oh, fuck, we're back. Actually, Picard season 2, I was so fed up with reviewing
that was
those.
like this.
Yeah, that was the nosedive into the fucking ground. That wasn't this.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's like, when's Q gonna appear? And now he's dying apparently. What? Oh, it's gonna be Braxton. No, it's gonna be Duquesne. It's fucking.
Yeah.
Very dumb stuff.
Michael Skyro says, do y'all work for Academy? I wish we got the money that they would be giving us.
Why would you say that? We're quite negative, but also mildly positive, but mildly.
People just hear what they want to hear.
I think it's because we don't blag on it, you know. But again, I gave the last episode 1.9 compared to Old Trek. That's real bad. But you can't really compare to Old Trek, right?
Yeah. Picard season 2 is so bad. Yes, Kay, it is.
Yeah. Oh, 57 votes. Okay, so this did change the metric. I got some people more. Which is better TV show? The 200 plus episodes of SG1 with 3 other movies as well, or 7 episodes of Academy? It's close.
Oh yeah, clearly.
96% Stargate SG-1, 4% Starfleet Academy, which is probably 2 people.
The next one should be
Oh, universe.
no, Picard season 2 against the 7 episodes in Starfleet Academy season 1 so far.
But do people remember season 2 of God?
It had some legacy characters. We had Picard, we had Q. Look, it was awful. It was awful. I was having a rough time reviewing that.
And then she went to a bar, beat up some guy, and then went around the corner. And then Raffi and Seven went to that and talked about it. And then
Oh, look, a
wow.
red dress. Red dress.
I mean,
Distraction.
Pan really fucked them over. But it's like, is that it? And then Seven and Raffi managed to avoid an entire platoon of enhanced Borg soldiers with pinpoint aim, firing machine guns at them. They managed to run through them all with a knife and get to their ship. Literally impossible. Okay.
BJ said Picard had Picard in it. No, it didn't.
He really didn't.
Pathetic beatdown old man in it. Season 1 and 2, everything he did was wrong. Everybody told him he was an idiot. This is like Jean-Luc Picard, legendary captain of Starfleet, being told that to fuck off. The sheer fucking hubris of him asking for a ship.
Yeah, they've got a couple to spare.
Like it wasn't Picard. It was a shell of Picard, and unfortunately,
Which was
it
also
ruined the character.
The point.
Yeah, it kind of ruined the character of Picard.
It does make it hard to watch
Somewhat.
TNG, yes. But luckily, we know he's fine now, doing his nice thing. So he's been re-brought back post the shit. He's also dead, but we'll ignore that bit. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, which is a better season. Okay, there you go. As Stuart requested. Yeah.
And people are saying that had Patrick Stewart in it. Sure. It also had John Delancey in it, season 2. So there was some good stuff. The first 2 episodes were good. And the last episode was good ish. Until it wasn't, until the Borg cooperative showed up.
No, it was the first third was bad because they rushed it. They had drones hit each other to end the storyline, and then moving on. Then they had she's actually Jurati, which makes no sense, and then it ends a nice bit at the end. Yeah, it's a very I think people acknowledge it's a broken season of TV, let alone Star Trek. And to retcon his mum to commit suicide is horrible and ridiculous.
Yep.
And also, why did he never? It's a very logical season of television.
Yeah. I'm gonna check PayPal, see if there's any new PayPal.
Should
I
be.
don't think there is. Refreshing.
Yep,
refreshing.
one on my end.
Right,
vote now. This is a far more controversial poll. So vote now. Not so great combined with not so great. So how not so great? Ian,
Robert Cummins
sent
us $3 on PayPal, so thank you.
Thanks so much.
He says, Academy is my least favorite Trek show. Caleb is way too much of a Mary Sue, and Aki is insufferable. That being said, as a gay man, I appreciate the representation of Jaden without it being in your face. It's just done as a matter of fact, the best type of representation. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said across the board.
Yep. Except for Aki being insufferable. I can see it, I guess, but I really enjoy her character, so.
Well, the thing is, she varies. Right?
Yeah, I suppose.
You shouldn't put your feet on things on your fellow guy's chair. That's obviously a disrespectful thing to do. You're being a dick on purpose. But she doesn't care. Right? Vote in the poll, guys. Vote in the poll. But Stuart, I just don't get the word again. I don't get the word hate. I don't even hate darkness. I don't hate Section 31. I find it sad.
I'm more disappointed than mad. Yeah.
And you know what? It's very different because I feel like, and you guys in the chat really respond to this. I think it'd be an interesting point. Is it not more fair to hate These Are the Voyages, the final episode of Enterprise, for actively the same people who made Trek for 20, 30 years, or 20 years, for actively disrespecting their entire cast, crew, and era for an idea that they admit was wrong? Should you not hate that more than a new team without the qualifications, the experience, the knowledge, and the oversight of people who know the franchise to keep them on the right path, who are only doing what they're told in the parameters they're given, and limitations, who aren't making as a good Trek? Surely the ones that know better, who do a bad job, really bad job, isn't that more hateful than people who don't know what they're doing as good as they can do, but they might not be as good creatively? Does that make sense?
It does. But the thing is, the old guys thought they were doing a good thing, and then in hindsight realized that it was very disrespectful. And they didn't. They thought they were doing something special,
Which they
which I
were.
can see.
Had it been any other part
And
of the season.
yeah, mid-season episode, beautiful.
Mid
But
two-parter, chef's
but
kiss.
series finale, no.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Are not Trek fans more? Shouldn't they hate that more versus new
No,
stuff where they don't know any better?
no, they should hate Kurtzman for hiring people that don't know anything about Star Trek to write for Star Trek. That was one of the.
You say that, but the new lady loves Voyager. She says, and she loves all these things. I mean,
Yeah, and I bet her favorite character is Janeway because it's a strong female captain. Like
was that what she
the
said?
standard. It's the I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably it's the standard fucking answer. I like Star Trek. I grew up watching it with my dad. Spock was my favorite character. I know everything about Star Trek. No, you don't. That's the fucking answer that the world knows because everybody knows who Spock
The
is.
PR team told you to say that.
Exactly.
Whereas the Newsbracker guy, who I've forgotten his real name, which is funny, I can remember the fake name.
Paul Giamatti.
Thank you. He said, "I'm not really a Trekkie, but I love," and he said DS9, and he gave some non-main characters. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
You've seen DS9. You there you go. You know.
Yeah.
Or like Mighty Man, he'll throw in, I love Jellicoe. It's like, oh, okay. You've seen, Super.
Yeah.
People who get it are. It's like Tom Paris isn't my favorite character of Voyager because he's also a white, strong male who looks most like me. I think the Doctor's my favorite character because he's a dickhead and all other things evolving. I like Kim, but I also like Garrett.
I like Tuvok. I think Tuvok's probably my favorite.
Oh yeah. But I relate to him less because he's less arc, but also he's always the stoic.
Royston Bailey throws in $2. Kurtzman thinking he's worthy to lead Trek is SFH.
Well, his 50 million in the bank from 10 years. I mean, he's made more than you have on Trek. He's probably made more than anyone alive on Trek, unless you count inflation. Maybe Eugene. Does Rod Roddenberry get a residual for everything? He might have made more. Yeah. I mean, you'd like to think so, wouldn't you? That Gene would make sure in his will that his son gets residuals so that they are looked after forever. It sounds cynical of Rod, but then you'd want that because not that he earned it, but Trek's bringing lovely things to everyone in the world.
Yeah. Let's see. Hit like if you guys haven't hit like yet. We're at 94 likes. I want to get to 100. That's 6 more likes. We're going to be closing down here, I think, soonish, probably. And go vote on the poll. Which is a better season, Picard season 2 or Academy season 1?
Very different response.
I don't think a lot of people remember Picard season 2. And how bad it really was.
But Dot Matrix is just going to flat out say it. This show is terrible. The dialogue is absolutely atrocious. It's juvenile. The characters are insufferable. It's nothing but Gen Z in space. I mean, it's a school drama, and we've clearly worked out they're not the best because the standards have gone down. So it's not the best. We need people joining the academy. We'll take anybody, including literally ex-convicts who mean well, but also don't. But there's so much dialogue that saying it's atrocious is such a broad statement. There's some very good dialogue. There's some very okay dialogue. There's some very bad dialogue. It's a lot. It's actually quite broad in dialogue, I would say. It's kind of across the board.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more than Gen Z in space because they're in. I'm going to be dickish. It's not Gen Z in space. It's Gen Z on the planet. They never go to space.
Wah, wah. Michael Williams says being a teen drama within Trek makes it hard for Starfleet Academy to be good Trek. 10 episodes a season makes it harder for a teen drama to be good. The two compound. For now, live action Academy isn't the worst.
That was such a balanced way of saying that.
Yeah, and that's a great way to articulate that. Yeah. Just we've said that many times. 10 episodes just isn't enough, especially for episodes like last week's, where it's like
Well,
it might be good in a 26 episode season somewhere.
and Prodigy is a younger. I mean, Prodigy's made for less younger people than this, but with
Yeah.
more intelligence in theory. And the development dial between episode 1 and 20 is astounding. So he had 20 episodes of growth. And
Yeah.
he's not the same guy from episode 21 to 40 of season 2, etc. What's funny? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, what's funny is I do kind of think that while it wouldn't been for everybody, had they actually gone full teen drama and actually had them be so picture this for a second, Stuart. It's not the Academy because they should be more mature. It's straight from school. It's pre-academy, right? It's it's a summer season where 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds will come and do a learning course at the academy, but like a secondary building, and they're 15, 16. They're handpicked for their potential, but not their maturity because they're potential. And it's actually a teen drama, but they're actually much younger. And by the end of it, they're mature because they're given responsibility, they're given post-burn stuff, they're given technology, they've never had a shuttle pilot, never had a phaser before. All this stuff is new to them, so it is more teen drama, but they embrace it fully. But they're younger, so it makes more sense. What do you think?
Don't like the idea of younger necessarily. No, I don't. I don't like that idea.
What would it be better than this when it's hard to explain them immature? They were younger, but then by the end of season 1, they've grown to be really
Okay,
quite mature.
it might explain some of the writing choices,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
But then,
I
yeah,
don't know.
that's not what Star Trek has ever been about. Pre-teens having teen drama. That's just another show with a Trek lens, you know. And the irony is, if I was to pitch to you a group of cadets lost on a ship in another quadrant dealing for their lives, there's Prodigy. They kind of did that, and it kind of worked because they evolved. They literally all want to join the academy by the end of season 1, and they did. And
Royston Bailey says, I've never watched live Kurtzman except for Picard season 3, episodes 1 through 4. I quit in episode 5. You never watched the end of Picard season 3?
have you watched our reviews then? Because you've skipped out on pretty much everything of the last. Boy, for you, Trek has not done anything in 17 years.
Oh,
Or
Royston's here a lot, so.
yeah, that's crazy. Huh.
And Dot Matrix says, yeah, I swallowed my comm badge pretty much describes this show. Sadly, someone made big money reading that line. Yeah, and we said at the time, if it had been an alien that actually like eats metal, that would have been hilarious. I ate my comm badge. Really? Already? That would have been great.
I was
But
hungry on the shuttle ride, and it's very good carbohydrate. It's like,
yeah.
but I think is that joke will work better if she's expelled by the end, not in a mean way.
Yeah.
Just so not everyone's ready for this, and that's okay. And then, if she's expelled in season 1, and comes back in the end of season 2, having learned stuff, growth.
Mm.
I'm just saying, right? Often you need to let things play out, because you can never rewatch early TNG or DS9 not knowing where they're going to be once you've seen it, right? You can watch Nog and Jake saying they'll become mature older men, but you could be annoyed by Nog in the first few episodes because he's annoying, but he's meant to be, he's a kid, right? They grow.
Royston says, I watched all the animation stuff.
Okay, cool.
And I love classic Trek and appreciate your reviews. I like to be up to date on what's going on. So you watch our reviews, but nothing. Okay, that's fair.
It is funny because the only equivalent I've done is that I did watch the Acolyte Star Wars reviews by people on the internet. I haven't watched the show because it's such a low priority for me to watch how bad it looked that I was happy to spoil every single bit just to enjoy people's comments. But I have not watched anything for Ahsoka because I do want to watch Ahsoka. So I'm one parallel on that. Like, I don't know how bored I have to be to put on the Acolyte. You know, not even for dislike.
Again, it had its moments.
Yeah.
I did watch it all, and it was, a few scenes were pretty good. But overall, as a whole, yeah, I was disappointed immensely.
But of course, if a few scenes were good out of 300 million and 12 hours, and a few scenes were good, that's a terrible indictment of the show. Because a few scenes, it's quite a long show.
There were there were plot holes you could fly a Star Destroyer through, unfortunately.
Star Destroyer or Super Star Destroyer?
Super Star Destroyer. I was trying to be nice, but you had to fuck that up.
Well,
Yeah.
damn. Is there any show you haven't watched because you've watched the reviews of, having not watched the show itself, like I just expressed?
Not that I can think of. And if I do, if I have, it was probably just because I wasn't able to watch it anywhere, like wasn't streaming anywhere or something. But I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I can't, nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, that was my exception. So I don't like spoilers. I'm a huge, I want to experience it as it is. But that one, I was like, nah, it's fine.
I mean, I didn't watch the last half of season 2 of Halo,
Yep. Okay.
but it's just because it just kind of fell off for me. So
Yeah, I also stopped watching Halo because it wasn't a very good show.
yeah.
Just sad because Halo's a great game series. It's very sad.
Jamal Taylor says, as good as your reviews are, not watching with your own eyes and making up your own mind is kind of a cop out. Yeah, no, I agree, Jamal,
Mm.
but some people just don't want to take the time out to watch it, and that's fine. I just don't think that they have a very informed or valid opinion if they need to speak to me about it, if having not watched it.
Well, definitionally they don't.
Yes.
But also the irony is, to watch our actual reviews, our actual long reviews are longer than the episode, so you're actually going to use more time.
And we do get into the weeds and stuff, so you do get a good sense of what the episode is about. So,
And our particular canon-y disappreciation of some things, which were very funny for Discovery to rewatch, because boy, we obviously narrowed down on some things on that, because we were of course going to. I think one of our lives we did, it was like 55 minutes of audience feedback before we even got started, and it's like,
yes. Yeah.
Well, people had
Yep.
some thoughts. Yeah, people had some thoughts.
And Aaron Morse says a Borg cadet would have been interesting. It would, but we don't know what's going on with the Borg. Just getting an answer to, do people even know what the Borg are anymore? Because they got effectively shut down by Janeway. And then in Prodigy, they're still kind of they're severely like crippled essentially. So
The problem with that though is that you're giving the show too much power. If they do everything, then every other team, in theory, they can no longer have these questions to answer, because it shows, it's why some ambiguity is good, and some, it's a tricky one, But Stuart, 76 poll votes, much more on this one. I'll do one more before you poll out. Which is the better season, Picard season 2 or Academy season 1? And Picard season 2 wins with 58%. Your thoughts on that?
absolutely disagree with that. I think Picard season 2 had 3 good episodes. And
Two and a
yeah,
half.
the rest is just absolute filler and crap. So yeah, I think people just forget about it and they kind of think, okay, the Confederation stuff, that's really cool. The Q stuff is interesting enough. And then the end with the starships. There's some starships in it, don't you know? But yeah, you don't remember all the, because I don't know, Sam, if you remember, but I was very like did not look forward to reviewing it week on week. I kept saying have PTSD from watching this fucking show. And everything after that for a while, I was like, it's going to pull the same shit. It's going to take forever to answer one question. It's like a soap opera where just having a conversation with one person would solve your fucking problem. But no, you got to stretch it out for a month and a half of actual TV show to have a common misunderstanding just not answered because you don't. I don't know. It's frustrating. It was frustrating to me. But there you go.
Yeah, it was definitely the only one that's been a chore to watch. But only for
Besides Discovery. Discovery got better in the last season with Rainier and stuff, though.
That's what I mean. There was those, and the 10C were interesting, just not the middle bit.
Yeah.
There's things and bobs, because at least we knew they made a better sci-fi concept, which helped. That did help.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3 in a row for season 2 were just super difficult to do anything with.
So go in the new poll, guys. Which is a better show, a CamD season 1 or Stargate Universe?
I love
I
a
don't know.
Camden. I
I
love
still got
it.
to check out that new Camdy show. I haven't seen that yet.
Did you know they have a $27 million episode budget?
Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
it's more than Academy.
Mm-hmm. Well, the viewing
It's like
figures
double.
certainly, imply that. It's getting great reviews.
Royston S. Bailey throws in $2 and says, "You think our secret hideout's contract will be renewed?" I mean, I hope not. That's my answer. Do I think it will be? I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'd be shocked if it was, just because there's one thing to say we successfully contracted, produced, and released this much content, right? There's been more Trek in the last 6 years than there was in the previous 25, right? Within 30. So in that way, very successful. They brought back Janeway and Picard, and unfortunately they're gonna be too old now to do it again. So this was their go, right? And also they won't have the same reaction fan wise. So you can say they're very successful in what they've produced, because how many
Yeah.
gosh, versus technically also Secret Hideout, but via the other company, whatever, they failed to bring out Star Trek 4 for 15 years, whatever. But also is something determined by the fact that it's been released and the technical money raised. Because remember, all those producers, all those directors have all earned millions over the work of, I mean, Pixamundo has earned tens of millions from their Discovery and Picard and all those contracts, right? So they've been very successful off back of Star Trek, right? Jobs for thousands of people. Or is review scores important? Because if review scores are important, why were there 4 more Transformer films after the 3rd one? Right? They made
Yeah.
money, but they weren't reviewed well. None of them reviewed well. Until Bumblebee, and that got less money, but it was better reviewed. And then they didn't have Bumblebee 2 and 3 and 4, did they? So that didn't go anywhere.
No, the next one was Transformers 1, which was by far the best.
But animated, so it was even more of a cheap,
Yeah, yeah.
So didn't get the numbers. So
And of
if
course,
they're
because it's animated, a lot of the people didn't go watch it because I don't like animated. It's like one of the best films, for Christ's
even
sakes.
though all the Transformer scenes are animated in all those films.
Yes, this is true.
So that's the thing. If it made them technically money, then they're a success. But if you look at review scores, it's been constant failure. But then how many soap operas are being made where they're not getting great scores, are they? So it depends what they're looking for. Because could you argue that Trek should die for 2 years, as in the time to make a new show, and if it comes out with a bloody Oscar-winning show, but nothing else comes out, like it completely goes and bam, one good show, but the time you watch it because you've been burned out by Kurtzman, then it'll be a failure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They
tricky.
say nothing else would come out, but that's not true. I mean, Trek's never going to die. Sure, you won't get anything quote unquote official, but you'll have fan films. You'll still have merchandise coming out. There's still going
TOS
to
will
be a
never
lot
stop
of
selling.
exactly. Unless JJ had his way, which he tried and failed. But yeah, it'll never be dead.
I meant new shows, new productions.
And I know you did. I know you did.
Yeah.
But there'll be enough to tide people over in the meantime now, especially with YouTube, that people won't notice as much as we did for a little while there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where is it here? Somebody said, BJ says, never saw Star Trek or Stargate Universe, but I'll vote for it as it was, as is a Stargate, and Ming Na Wen is in it.
Yep, whole cast is fantastic. It's a expertly casted. Well, I wish the sets were slightly brighter. It does make sense. The ship's like 1 million years old. I think we'll give it pause. And kind of like SG1 to some extent, but and you've never seen Universe, I think you said.
No, not yet.
What's nice about one of the very, very nice things is that as the show goes on, they learn how to use the ship, and so it goes from being a more claustrophobic show to a more spacey show, because as they learn the ship.
Yeah.
So you evolve with the show. So had they had more seasons, it would have been more of a space show, although they're literally at space. But if they can't control it, then they're more in a tin can, and that's the fun, right? That's why when they do things are reveals, like, oh, they got the thing, because they're reveals, right? It's not like Voyager where you get transphasic tricobalt in the first episode and forgot how to make them. God damn it, guys, make more tricobalt or 38 torpedoes. It's like that shit. Whereas when they run out of bullets, there's a problem in Universe because they don't have unlimited bullets. obviously.
Mhm.
I mean, you can make bullets a lot easier, but it's a thing to worry about.
If CBS actually offered decent merch, most of us would be less angry with them. I agree,
Oh,
Jamal. They've missed the boat so many times on merchandise that I would absolutely be purchasing.
well, Stuart, where's the Starfleet Academy merchandise?
Exactly.
Is there any?
Not yet. I think there's the badges, but
They're not
that's about
official.
it.
I mean, they made a convention exclusive one, which I would actually would love to have had one of those, but they didn't make any official. Because normally, you know a show, and you release content for the show's premiere. First Contact, they release imperfect Enterprise E models for the movie launch, because the best time to sell merch is during the show's run. At least how it used to be. And they'd
Not
have had
5 years later, like
no,
some of this stuff.
yeah. So the fact they didn't try and make any merch for the show's release or during the show,
Star Trek's not the only one guilty of that. Star Wars, I mean, with Grogu, with Mandalorian,
mm-hmm.
no Grogu fucking merchandise for that first year, 2 years after the Mandalorian. Not for that Christmas, nothing. Now everything's awash with Grogu. Like it's on in retail, it's in sale bins and discount bins because there's so much of it made after the fact. But they missed the mark to get it out that Christmas.
They probably also didn't want spoilers because that's a big part of that show. And if that had
That's true.
leaked, they've got a Baby Yoda. I can imagine that was worth it to hold, you know, because I mean, loads of time. I say loads of times for the new Star Wars, whatever. There's the Lego sets are leaked, and therefore you see who's in the new
Yeah,
show,
yeah,
and that, because
absolutely.
they're doing that and they're risking that because Lego always sells. And now this is Or I remember there was a Doctor Who thing where they showed at a convention a doll. And it was a collector's show, and it was behind the closed doors. Someone snapped a pic, and that was the first look at their costume.
Mm.
So that's the risk, right? But things like Academy, that shouldn't matter. Like, I'm sorry, Jay Den's figure isn't gonna. Oh my god, it's in a uniform, right? Well, that's the phaser. Although it's the same phaser. At least they could have released like the tricorder phaser for the It just the lack of anything means something.
They need to release a Gallica laser tag kit. Two Gallica phasers, Gallica phasers,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and the gear.
and a plushie for the TOS guy and
Oh yeah, for the
yeah.
yeah, for the Mugatu and
Mm-hmm.
the
Because that probably
yeah.
would have sold had that released. So because remember, Lower Decks, I
Ugh.
don't think did very well. They did shirt combos every episode or every other episode
Yeah, yeah,
about the episode. That was merch at launch as with. It's not easy with shirts, but yeah, it says
yeah.
something. Definitely says something.
Well, let's close out this pool and wrap this up. Well, let's see. With 48 votes, which is the better show? Stargate Universe wins with 81% over Academy, which 19%.
Good, good.
Yes.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts? Give you guys another minute or two. Any final thoughts? Oh, yes, more Star Trek. Okay, yeah, that would have been good. As in, would still be good. Yes,
We'll
please.
get that for sure. I think the next one's probably going to be a Romulan to Daredex, would be my guess.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
well, it's the 60th anniversary of Trek too. Hopefully something good comes out. It'd be cool for them to do a TOS Enterprise, actually, Lego.
I mean, they super sold out, so you'd like to think that would steamroll more than
Yeah.
one thing. But they would have been demoing 4 or 5 things. I mean, it doesn't cost that much
And
to internally demo. That really wouldn't.
Aaron Morris says, Connie, refit and Lego, take my money. Yes, a refit would be great because we already have the Mega Blocks TOS Enterprise out there. So I would love to see a refit one, an official refit one. There are ones that people have built,
Mm-hmm.
but have an official one would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or all of them, please. Cool, thanks.
Eventually. Yes. Yeah.
That would be ideal.
All right, guys. I think we'll call it there. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and participating.
Yes, very much so.
We
Hopefully things have
don't
been
have a live.
balanced and hopefully not too annoyed at us. We're not too annoyed at you, etc. etc. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be no live tomorrow, but on Wednesday we'll be back with another live, and of course, then Thursday is the new episode. It's typical routine here. So stay
Yeah.
tuned for that.
And I'll be up in 11 hours to ready to film my next 2 days of shooting. And I'll be with you that evening. Got Marie's sister tomorrow, and then Nim on, well, both of them on the next day, but they're swapping shifts. But as they can see each other, but they'll be swapping shifts, and hopefully we'll get self with all 3 of the same uniform, because that's pretty rare uniforms. I'm hoping to get that get that in. So yeah. So think of you guys when I'm filming tomorrow. We'll be filming some Trek in the future. If you'll like it. Hopefully.
All right, until next time, guys. He's Commander Cockings.
He's got a Foley, and you guys are amazing.